Before my classes started again, I had the opportunity to go to Niagara Falls, and here's what I did. In the beginning of August, I went to Niagara Falls for a couple of days with my mom and my sister. On the first day of our trip, we flew into Buffalo, New York, and we took an Uber to our hotel to drop our things off. After we dropped our bags off and we got changed for the day, we made our way to the Rainbow Bridge so that we can cross over to Canada. The great thing about our hotel was it was walking distance from the Rainbow Bridge that you have to cross to get over to Ontario. Make sure to bring your passport with you and keep it safe during your travels, obviously, because if you don't, I hope you like it in Canada. Well, I did love Canada, but that's not the point. Keep your passport safe. The Rainbow Bridge is about a 10-15 minute walk, and the view is absolutely amazing. You get to see both the American side and the Canadian side of Niagara Falls, as well as the different structures on both countries. Once we made it to Ontario, we took an Uber to Corso's, which is the restaurant that we had dinner. Corso is an Italian restaurant that takes you through a 4-course meal of wine, appetizers, entrees, and desserts. The restaurant charges you by person, and you are able to have unlimited servings of any dish you would like. They started us off with a few choices of wine. Since the drinking age in Canada is 19, I was able to try some of the wine with my family as well. Unfortunately, I didn't really like the taste of wine. It just wasn't for me. I bet if you do like wine and you like those different types of flavors, you probably would like it. My mom and my sister greatly enjoyed the drinks. Our waiter at Corso's was so sweet. He tried to add like this syrup to make the taste not so bitter, but still I couldn't bear the taste. But he tried his best to make me like it. Other than the wine, everything else was absolutely amazing. The second and third course consisted of different pastas and entrees such as chicken, steak, salad, and fish. The final course of the meal was dessert with tiramisu and a raspberry cheesecake. They also give you these Italian cookies to take home after your meal. Like I said before, everything was delicious and fills you up very quickly. However, if you are still hungry, you can always request more of any dish that you would like. Once we finished dinner, we walked around Ontario for a few hours to see some of the buildings and Niagara Falls before heading back to the hotel. One thing that I didn't know about going back to the US from Canada is that you needed to pay $1 in quarters per person that was crossing the border. They do have ATMs just in case like you don't have any quarters. Just make sure that you have some change on you when traveling to places like this. The next day we did the Cave of the Winds on the American side of Niagara Falls. We first had to walk down to the visitor center to take the trolley down to the start to be able to buy our tickets. Before heading down to the start of the waterfall, there is an exhibit about the history of Niagara Falls and how useful this resource was to individuals years ago. There are pictures, interactive activities, and even a short film to keep you entertained while waiting to go down to the waterfall. They do provide ponchos with your admission. However, you're still gonna get soaked with or without the poncho. Don't wear anything that you care about unless it's able to get wet and not be damaged, especially your shoes. Since the bridges and steps are made out of a wooden material, it's very easy to slip and fall on these platforms. Make sure to wear shoes that are non-slip or have a really good grip to help prevent you from falling. The Cave of the Winds allows you to take platforms up to a certain height of the Bridal Veil Falls. Obviously, the higher up you go in the waterfall, the pressure is going to increase, which can become very painful. It can be hard to breathe because you have water all over. Don't push yourself too hard. You can still get great views and great experiences at different points of the Cave of the Winds. Also, I want to apologize because I did my best to keep wiping my lens for a clear picture. Most of the time, water droplets kept falling. I did the best I could, but I apologize for the inconvenience. Here are some more clips from the Cave of the Winds. The Cave of the Winds was awesome, and it's one of the best ways to experience Niagara Falls. After we dried off for a bit, we took an Uber to the Underground Railroad Heritage Center, which is about 10-15 minutes away from the Niagara Falls Visitor Center. This museum teaches you about how Niagara Falls played a crucial role in the escaping of enslaved people and how these people were treated in the context of slavery. There are personal stories of individuals brought to life throughout the exhibit and why it's important to keep these stories relevant throughout history. You have the choice of joining a scheduled tour or going about the museum at your own pace. We made our way back to the hotel so that we could get ready for the evening because this was our last full day in Niagara Falls. I didn't film dinner, but we went to this place called Duff's Famous Wings in Buffalo that was recommended to us by a few people. After dinner, we made our way back to Canada just to walk around and see all the waterfalls lit up at night. The weather was also beautiful that night. There was a great breeze and you could just sit and relax and enjoy the waterfall. The next day was the last day of our trip, so we just ended up buying a few more souvenirs before heading to the airport to go home. Like I said, the trip was only a few days, but we still really enjoyed it. Classes started shortly after we came home from Niagara Falls, so I've been really busy keeping up with them. I've also started a new job recently, so that's also been keeping me busy as well. However, that's not the main reason why this video is so late. The main reason why this video is so late is because the SD card that I used to film all the footage from Niagara Falls was corrupted. The worst part is that it happened while we were in Niagara Falls. The second to last day of our trip, we go to Canada. We're sitting there, we're watching the waterfalls change color. My mom asked me if she could film some stuff with my GoPro, so I said yeah. She goes and she films. She comes back to me and she's like, it's not working. So I look at it and it says like SD error or something like that. I clean like the SD card, I clean the slot that it's in on my GoPro. It's still not working. I overthink and I start like jumping to conclusions because I'm thinking like all my footage is gone. Like I don't know what to do. We were very fortunate to find a place in Orlando and they were able to fix it very quickly and I was able to get all the footage back and I'm so grateful for that. I had to turn on a light. My camera is not focusing. I know this is not the most efficient way, but this is what we're doing. Overall, this was just an important lesson for me to learn about storing my footage properly and making sure that it's downloaded and protected in multiple places than one. I hope you all enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye!